Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris with Inside the U. EA Sports just made a massive update with its player ratings as over 1,500 players saw their ratings either increase or decrease. It's the biggest update they've had done so far this season to College Football 25. Exciting news, there's no doubt about it. 18 different Hurricanes were affected by the player ratings. 16 of them go up, 2 go down, which I will get into, as well as one player who I think should get a ratings increase based on how he's performed this season. But first, let's talk about Cam Ward. He goes up 2 points in his overall rating from an 89 to a 91. I'm going to break down all of his stats, where he kind of made the biggest increases to get that 91. But basically, look, he's a guy that's off to a great start, leads the nation in passing touchdowns with 18, second in passing yards. So I wasn't surprised to see this update. I definitely think he should be one of the top quarterback rated in the game. And now with this update, he's now tied for 5th highest quarterback rating in the game. So let's take a look. And it's kind of some small changes, but kind of leads to that 6-point increase. But he goes up 1 point in speed, 2 in strength, and then 3 in agility. Those are, again, some small things that kind of make him a little bit better. Acceleration goes up 1 point to an 89. There's another one that I thought was a little interesting here. Spin move goes up 3. Juke move goes up 2. But the most noticeable attribute that he goes up in, and I'm going to show you right here, and that's throwing on the run. He's now at 97. He goes up 6 points in this category. And when you look at it right here of how he ranks amongst the quarterbacks in the entire country, I think you might be a little bit surprised, but if you've watched Cam a lot this season, you're not going to be that surprised because, again, he's a guy that's done really well on throw on the run. He leads the country as the highest rated quarterback in this category, a 97 overall. Other good quarterbacks certainly in here, and that's the biggest increase with Cam. And certainly when you're playing this game, that's going to be a huge skill that you definitely want to take advantage of because you're able to roll out either left or right, kind of step up in the pocket and make good accurate throws to the receivers. So I think everybody's going to enjoy kind of playing with Cam because of that. And look, his other categories, we can go back to him here. So in addition to the +6 on throwing on the run, he also goes up +6 in break sack, and then as well as +3 on throwing under pressure. So that's where he made the increases to get that to that 91 overall. His throwing power is still a 94, and then his accuracy ratings are still 91, 92, 87. That stays the same. And now that he's a 91 overall, Miami has 4 guys ranked in the 90s. Martinez stays the same at 91. Bain and Restrepo stay the same at 90. So the 4 90 rated players that Miami has, there's only 5 other schools in the game that have more than 4 90 rated guys on their team. So certainly Miami's one of those hot teams to play with right now. So the 2 highest risers in the updates for Miami are both freshmen. That's cornerback AJ Frederick, getting a lot of playing time. Wasn't in the game when the game first released. So he gets in the game, he kind of debuts at that 67 rating. Now he goes up +12 to a solid 79. It's a great rating for a freshman there. As you can see, the 89 overall, agility 91, acceleration 93, awareness 78, another good rating for a freshman. So that +12 rating, and I was looking at all of the ratings increases amongst the over 1,500 players, and that kind of puts him in the top 50, which is great because a lot of guys saw increases, and for OJ to be recognized as one of those guys that's really impressed so far 5 games into the season, that's certainly a good sign for OJ and kind of his future in the game as well as in real life there. So 79 overall, definitely really solid right there. So the other highest riser for Miami is freshman running back Jordan Lyle. He goes up +7. You know, he was a guy that also was not on the game when it debuted, but he comes in at a 74, but now is already up to an 81. Great start to a season, had that 91-yard touchdown run against USF, second on the team in rushing right now. So that +7 actually vaults him ahead of AJ Allen and Chris Johnson on the game. And, you know, looking at it here, you know, the 92 speed, the 92 agility, 98 acceleration, all good marks, awareness 73. Again, good number for a freshman there. But just overall, just kind of good ratings all across the board. Certainly someone that can, I think, that's going to kind of elevate once you get into franchise mode with him after a year or two if you really produce with him. So certainly a good start. And he's definitely a guy that's fun to play with. because I think one thing that he does well is he's able to kind of break tackles a little bit, in addition to having that speed element at the back. So I'm curious to see how the rest of the season goes for him during his freshman year at Miami, because I think he's a guy that can really kind of jumpstart the run game if they give him more touches. I like him in that shotgun formation, next to Cam Ward there in the backfield, and we'll see if he gets more opportunities. But again, 81 overall, certainly great to see for him getting that ratings increase as well. So let's take a look at the other guys that saw their ratings increase, and it starts with Francisco Mauigoa, +3, so he's an 87 overall. Good ratings across the board there, 92 awareness, great to see there from your middle linebacker. Also Simeon Barrow, seeing him on the list, he goes up +1, but an 85 overall. And then kind of moving along, Michelle Powell, 3 interceptions. He goes up 2 points, so he's an 84 overall. Another guy that's gone up a little bit as well, Jadis Richard at cornerback goes up +4. He was a 79 once he got inserted into the game. With the previous update, we already touched on Jordan Lyle. Moving along here, Mesidor goes up just a little bit, +2. CJ Clark gets a +3, so they're both 81s overall, giving you a good solid defensive tackles there, with Cook also an 81 overall. Markeith Williams, a little bit of a surprise. He gets a little ratings increase, just a little bit of a boost, goes up +3, so he's a 79 overall. Another guy that moved up the list to a 79 is Jaden Alderman, gets a +2, so now he's a 79 as well. AJ Allen was a guy that was an 80, but he loses a point, so he's down to a 79. Another guy that kind of moved down a little bit was Marley Cook. He lost 1 point there. So those are the only two guys that have, kind of went down in their overall ratings. We already touched on Frederic getting to that 79 overall. And then also let's look at Ryan Rodriguez. He goes up +3, so he's a 78. Kind of had that starting job there at left guard to open the season against Florida. Hasn't played since because of an injury. Hopefully he'll be back sometime this month. Then also Raul Aguirre getting a lot of playing time. He's a 78 right now. He goes up +2. And I see Matthew McCoy here, a 76 overall. He's been filling in for Rodriguez there at left guard. He goes up +2. Another guy that goes up to a 76 is Ahmad Moten. He goes up +2. And then the last player that saw ratings change was Ray Joseph, gets a +1. So now he's a 74 overall. Still really good speed, 92, and then agility, acceleration. So certainly a guy you can definitely work with if you want to go with some young guys there. So those are the 18 players that saw their ratings either increase or decrease. But I want to talk about the number one player who I think should get a ratings increase. When I look at all of these ratings, and I definitely thought Cam Ward was going to get an increase, and obviously those other two freshmen who have impressed. So those didn't surprise me. But the guy who I think that should get the biggest ratings increase moving forward, and that's tight end Elijah Arroyo, only an 80 overall. That doesn't put him amongst the top tight ends in the country on the game, but an 80 overall is just in that solid range. I definitely think he should be, kind of that mid 80s, even maybe a high 80s mark, because I think he's producing at a really high level. He's actually going into the Cal game. He's 5th nationally in receiving yards by a tight end. And he's getting those big yards, the touchdowns, making big plays, a key to the offense. And certainly he's caught in the eyes of a lot of different players and a lot of different people. Again, a lot of guys that have done well for the Hurricanes so far. And it's good to see the ratings kind of show that as Miami is certainly, once again, looks to be one of those top teams to play with in the game. And certainly I know Miami fans are enjoying playing with them. And if you're going to start a franchise now, a dynasty now, definitely think it's a good time to do that. As even though you don't have Tyler Barron in the game or Zach Carpenter, two geek guys that aren't in the game, you still have a lot of ratings adjustments at this point. And I think they're doing a pretty good job of accurately reflecting how the team is playing with how the players are doing on the field. Other than a few things here and there, again, Elijah Arroyo, maybe the next update they do, he'll be in there. But overall, just a really great thing, seeing EA Sports update the ratings. We've not seen this before in college football video games, because now that they're able to do this mid-season during this era, they're able to do that. And they said they would, and they did. They didn't wait too long. only after 4 or 5 games for these teams. So great to see. Which player do you think should get the biggest rating increase moving forward at the next update? Or which players should have an increase right now based on how they're playing? Is it Arroyo? Is it somebody else that you're like, I see that rating, but I think he's better than that? So definitely drop in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and definitely appreciate everybody's support. Hopefully have a good rest of the day, and take care.